Christine and Alex, what's scary is how blatant these men were, doing this in the middle of the afternoon in front of dozens of witnesses and cameras. The man who they were targeting told me that he saw them walk by and he had this overwhelming feeling that something bad was about to happen. So he says at least he was ready.
That's racist. Using observation, using memory, using your spidey sense, your gut instincts, using what you know of the behavior of the other people that you see is racist. The media has made that racist. White liberals marching the streets has made that racist. This is Long Beach, California. This white guy is 99.9% chance that he's a liberal. Ask me if I feel sorry for him. I don't even know what happened. I haven't seen this video yet, but I don't even have to know what happened. I don't feel sorry for him. Because he's probably on social media chiding and ridiculing and chastising other people. You voted for Trump, you're a racist, you're unconsciously biased, you're part of systematic institutions. Yet when he saw three brothers, and I'm sure these are brothers, these three men are brothers, it's always brothers. I haven't seen the story yet, but always brothers. When he saw these three brothers, or maybe one of them Latino, when he saw these three brothers, he instantly tingly all up in the spine. Yee, something ain't right. And he was ready. Oh! Oh! How interesting. You were ready. Just on the sight of three young brothers, you was already, your stomach was quaking, your bubble guts, and probably had to fart, trembling, bracing for impact. Oh! Isn't that fun? Isn't that interesting?
Blatant these men were, doing this in the middle of the afternoon in front of dozens of witnesses and cameras. The man who they were targeting told me that he saw them walk by and he had this overwhelming feeling that something bad was about to happen. So he says at least he was ready. It happened that fast. On March 4th at about 2 p.m. at El Pastillo restaurant on Cannon and Brighton in Beverly Hills. Investigators say a group of gang members target a man dining in this watch, a $500,000 Richard Mille timepiece. The man...
Wow. $500,000 watch. Yeah, I mean... How many of y'all know about rapper Pop Smoke? Rapper Pop Smoke was killed out there in LA last year. This a little bit, about a year and a couple months ago, 2020. He was in his shower. He was in the shower, and some little 15-year-old black hoodlums scaled his wall, climbed in through his balcony, attacked him in the shower, shot him dead, stomped him out, took his watch, his Rolex, that he had, I think he had flashed it on Instagram. He had taken an Instagram photo and he had the Rolex on in the Instagram photo, and that's when they decided that they were gonna go to his rental property and take it by any means necessary. Sold it for $2,000 on the street. And I got attacked on Twitter over that the other day, man. Because I was just like, it was crazy. Okay, guys, so this is the Twitter exchange. So, I told you what happened. Pop Smoke was having a party that night. During the day, he took a photo of an invitation. The invitation had the address on it. He also took some other pictures, one of them which he had a watch on. Some young black gang members, like 15 years old, saw these posts, decided they were going to go to his house and rob him. 4 o'clock that morning, they scaled his wall of his rental property, the property he was renting, climbed in through his balcony. Pop Smoke happened to be in the shower at the time. They came in the bathroom, attacked him in the shower. He ran out. They shot him dead, stomped him out, took his watch, fled the scene, sold the watch for $2,000 on the street. They were arrested several months after that. So this sister says about this brutal attack on this black man, the only thing she has to say, and this is why I think liberals are such disgusting people, this is the only thing she has to say about all of that. Pop Smoke's death is too devastating. We didn't only lose one of the most promising careers in the last 5 years. Past 5 years. But a 15-year-old child threw his promising life away for a watch. The world is cruel. So I just asked, how was the 15-year-old's life promising? I didn't even say, like, why would you even mention his life? Like, fuck him. He just killed that brother over a damn watch. He attacked he scaled his brother's wall, climbed into his balcony, attacked him in the shower, shot him dead, and then kicked his brains in after he was dead. And took his watch and sold it for $2,000. Why would you even mention him in the tweet? But all I said was, how was the 15-year-old's life promising? And she said, her name is Dee at Thoughtful Bay. Now she's thoughtful. Yikes. She says, when you're 15 years old, your life is very promising. You have time for redemption, learning, and change. He threw that all away for a watch. Now we're talking about the 15-year-old, of course, which is really, if you really know sisters, that's who she really cares about in this situation. These liberal sisters, I'm not talking about all sisters, the average sister, which is not all. The average is not all. The average sister cares more about that 15-year-old who would have done the same thing to her or her baby daddy than they do the brother that died such a horrible... You're taking a shower. You in there taking a shower. Forever, my lady. Ooh, yeah. It's like a dream. You singing in the shower. Holding me close, keeping me warm. And this is ecstasy. And some dudes just bust in with guns. You ass naked. You run out. They shoot you dead as you're dying, bleeding out there, stomping your brains in. And that's what she knows about this guy. She don't know all that 15-year-old did. She just knows he did this. Let's play a game. That's his first rodeo. That was his first rodeo. That's the first thing he did, was rob this superstar rapper. That was his first mission. He's a terrible person. So other people had things to say to me about just my question, how was the 50? Just a question. So Coraline says, Didn't you feel like your life was promising at 15? You still have so much life to live at that young age. And he could have done so much more. Yeah, no shit. That's exactly my point, Coraline. That 15-year-old could have done so much more of what he was doing. Now he'll never be able to truly grow and learn what's better for him because he's about to be locked up for the rest of his life. First of all, he ain't going to be locked up for the rest of his life. Thanks to people like you, Coraline. He'll be out in 20 years. He'll be 35, 36, 37 when he gets home. He may get juvenile life. He may come home when he's 21 because he's a juvenile. But if they charge him as an adult, he'll be home by the time he's 36, 37. They never cape for good brothers like this. They never cape for hard-working brothers, builders. They never. Only thugs and criminals. This white guy, this woke white guy says, ask yourself what a lot of your favorite rappers were doing at 15. He thinks that he's a got me. Gotcha. He gotcha me. Ask yourself what a lot of your favorite rappers were doing at 15. The same thing. Wow. White liberals, just what they expect and what they accept, they would never accept this out of their children. They never accept this. Go to white communities. They don't accept this or expect this from their children. Just look at the white community. Go to white community. This one, he was 15. He could have done so much more with his life, but instead he threw it away. So yeah, man. If you saw the video I did yesterday, that's why you got to tune in every day. If you saw the video I did yesterday, they're putting tracking devices on people's cars. They're lurking around high-end jewelry stores, Tiffany's, K Jewelers. They're lurking around high-end fashion stores, the Gucci store, the Versace store, the Prada store. That brother you see browsing next to you, he's watching you, man. They watched what car you pulled up in. They're watching you while you're in the store. Put a device underneath your car so that they don't even have to be following you. So if you're looking in your rear view, you're like, man, somebody's following me. Nah. They can follow you from a distance because they have a device on your car. They know exactly where you are at all times. You pull up in your driveway, you pull up in your parking deck, you're getting your bags out the car, and boom, them same brothers that you saw lurking around the store are in your driveway with guns in your face. Go watch the video I did yesterday.
Investigators say a group of gang members target a man dining in this watch, a $500,000 Richard Mille timepiece. The man wearing it says they put him in a headlock, repeatedly hitting him in the head with the gun.
With the thing cocked and all he had to do is squeeze the trigger right to his temple, he was able to get the gun away from the guy and wrestle him on the floor.
Detectives say the gunman fired twice, hitting this woman at another table in her leg.
Who's shocked that someone else who had nothing to do with it got hit by a bullet? Hit one if you're shocked by that. That's another reoccurring thing. No suspects in custody, no description unless they literally have to give a description from the media. Someone who had nothing to do with it being injured. Those are three of the main.
Detectives say the gunman fired twice, hitting this woman at another table in her leg. The three thieves took off and into a getaway BMW.
This robbery was the definition of bold and brazen, occurring on one of the busiest intersections in city of Beverly Hills, if not in the county of Los Angeles, with 40 people watching.
With the entire Beverly Hills PD working the case at the start of the investigation,
Beverly Hills police arrived at the location within 90 seconds.
and with the help of the FBI, they've arrested 3 of the 5 involved: 18-year-old Kai McGee, 30-year-old Marquise Gordon, and 20-year-old Malik Powell, each facing up to 20 years in prison.
Damn it. Kai and Malik, you had such promising lives. Marquise was 30, so he ain't have a promising life. I don't know if anybody on Twitter cape for him. But the 2 young ones, Marquise and Kai, especially you, Malik and Kai, especially you, Malik, you 20, so you definitely getting charged as an adult. Kai, hopefully you can get the Youth Act. That's what I got when I was 18. I committed armed robbery when I was 18. Well, robbery, strong arm robbery. That's what I got caught for. One of the many ones. I can't remember how many we did, but that was the one I got caught for. Strong arm robbery. Same type situation. Same type victim. Same brazenness, same boldness. I got the Youth Act. Youth Act, if at the age, once I turned 21, if I hadn't gotten any more charges by then, after being on probation for the entire time, you had to be on probation for 3 years, but once I turned 21 and my probation expired, they would expunge my record. It's called the Youth Act. I did 1 night in jail. I got probation for that. Hopefully this kid gets probation for that and he can continue his promise in life. Because they didn't kill anybody. They only shot an innocent boy. But everybody not going to turn their life around, and I didn't. You know, I kept getting. During that period, I did turn my life around. As far, I didn't need to turn my life around. I was just doing this shit. My life wasn't turning around. This is just regular behavior. That's basically all I can say. This is normal behavior. You don't have to be like turned around or nothing like this. This is stuff that brothers do all the time. This happens all the time. This is not even like, this is nothing. On a scale of 1 to 10 of, like, let's just say 10 being committing a mass shooting and 1 being stealing a candy bar out of the drugstore, out of the Walgreens or the CVS or something. This is a 3, a 4. This is a 4. This ain't even like high level. This is, I think you guys gotta understand, like, the amount of crime and criminality that goes on around amongst young black men, man. And how much you have to do to get a harsh sentence. Like, I saw the story of my cousin, the one who ended up doing 20 years. Y'all saw that video. Y'all saw how many he was convicted of. Not even how many he did, just how many they caught, convicted him of. And what he was doing to those people, even after they gave him the money. And how many times before that he'd been caught to build up to where the judge would be like, all right, this is it. The criminal justice system is not racist, man. The amount of brothers that's coming in every day. Oh, Every city is like this all day, every day, all day. Just coming in the system. The only one that's really in trouble really here is the gunman. The other two, whoever's not the gunman, the two that aren't the gunmen are in decent shape. Especially if they cooperate. But if they don't cooperate, they're still in decent shape. The gunman's probably gonna get slammed on this one.
18-year-old Kai McGee, 30-year-old Marquise Gordon, and 20-year-old Malik Powell, each facing up to 20 years in prison.
From witness interviews to DNA evidence to CCTV surveillance cameras, and they were able to put a case together and identify the subjects.
The bad guys were caught on camera scouring the sidewalk for their target right before the incident. Investigators are looking into the possible connection to other recent robberies in the area.
Gun violence is up, murders are up, crime is up in the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, and I think it's obvious that they feel emboldened to do whatever they want.
It's obvious. They? Who is they? Who's they? Who are you speaking about? Gun violence. Okay. So the gun, we've established that the gun is being violent. Who's helping the gun be violent? Who's the gun's assistant? Who are these gun assistants? Who's aiding and abetting the gun at being violent? You got the balls to say that? Hell nah, I wouldn't even advise you to say that. You probably got a family. You got a family to feed. You'll be out of there. If you said what you really wanted to say, you'll be out of there by sundown. All your white and Hispanic colleagues would turn on you. The NAACP, CNN, they be talking about you on First Take tomorrow. LeBron James will be tweeting about you and how this is the problem in America, how what you said is really now the problem. Not the first part, nothing you said other than the part about who's doing it is the problem. They would completely ignore the fact that you said everything else you said about gun violence being up, the brazeness, the boldness, the lack of safety people have. None of that would be talked about. It would just be the fact that you said who's doing it. 9% of the LA population is black. LA's black population has shrunk from 30 in the 80s to 9%. Black people are only 9% of the population in Los Angeles. And they're committing the vast majority. And you have Latin gangs out. You have Mexican mafia. You have 18th Street. You have the Norteños, the Saint Soreños. You got all these Mexican gangs out there that the black gangs are terrified of. But they don't commit that much murder. The majority of the murder in LA is being in shootings in LA are being committed by 9% of the population. And this guy almost said it, but he caught himself.
Gun violence is up, murders are up, crime is up in the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, and I think it's obvious that they feel emboldened to do whatever they want.
Thankfully, the woman shot is okay. Investigators are looking for the 2 other suspects they say were involved in this robbery, and there is still a $50,000 reward for the return of that watch. Reporting live in Beverly Hills, I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
That $500,000 watch. All right, Haley, the FBI got involved in this?
Yes, it's complicated, but the simple answer of why they got involved is that it was a federal violation of what's called the Hobbs Act, which basically is used to address violent crimes that affect another jurisdiction. You know, it's not uncommon for the FBI to help out local law enforcement, especially when they request it. It's just that we don't often hear about it because it's under the radar. But the FBI says it's fair to say that the FBI does plan on helping law enforcement, local law enforcement, that is, a lot more often.
And looking at all those cameras, right?
Exactly. Haley Winslow, thank you. Now to